All right, for today's video review, we're taking a look at another Studio Series 86 figure. Here we have Deluxe Kup. And happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there. This figure does not have any relevance to that holiday, but that is the day that it's coming out. So happy Valentine's Day. But yeah, here we have Kup, and he's in his sort of weird futuristic Cybertronian pickup, I guess. Uh, alt mode here. I like Kup's alternate mode just because, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the Cybertronian modes look a little bit too close to like Earth modes for it to be believable, but his does look like a weird sort of different thing, so I'm into it. It's got all four rolling wheels here. These two are kind of recessed and in his legs. And yeah, he rolls okay. Like the wheels definitely, they're not super free spinning. Like you can move them easy enough. They're not like tight or anything, but they're not as freewheeling to so that like when you like push them across, it slides a little bit just because the wheels are so smooth that they don't really get a lot of traction. If you like put them down and like put pressure, like yes, definitely all four wheels are being used, but otherwise, yeah, he doesn't really roll super well. Kind of a nitpick I have with a lot of recent figures is just like the wheels aren't super free moving, but not a huge deal. He comes with two accessories here. He comes with his little gun and then his Energon goodies that he can give out to the Alicons. And yeah, they just they kind of store by just tabbing on to the vehicle mode here. It's not totally elegant. Like with the gun, it's okay. It's not the best. Like I wish it was hidden entirely, but like I can deal with that because it's a small weapon. But this I don't think that looks good. Also, just because like I don't know, this accessory is really like a moment frozen in time because he's like ejecting the Energon goodie there. So like you wouldn't really have it stored with that hanging out like that. Like that doesn't make any sense. It's really just more for recreating that scene in robot mode. But yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite accessory, but it looks weird not only because of that, but it's just like at a weird angle too. Like I'm not sure why it stores that way instead of like that or something, where at least it could look like a pouch on the side of the alt mode, or even just like store underneath here. But whatever, I'm fine without just kind of tossing those to the side and not really treating this figure like he's got no accessories. But it's it is what it is. But that's kind of my general gripe about weapon storage that they've been doing recently. If you've been following my videos, I'm sure you've heard it. But yeah, well, not transformation, we got to show him off with a couple of his friends here. Here he is with Studio Series 86 Blur, and then Titan's Return wheelie. I always forget if it's Titan's Returns or Power of the Prime. Pretty sure it's Titan's Returns, but yeah, they look good together. He's kind of small for Deluxe, at least in vehicle mode. Like you'd expect this kind of vehicle, I guess, if it's sort of like a pickup, to be a bit bigger in comparison to the cars and stuff. But he doesn't have a scale that he really has to fit to since it is a fictional vehicle mode. But yeah, to transform him, I find you're supposed to like untab the arms first, but the hands peg into these panels like so securely that it's really hard to get a good grip on them. Like it kind of hurts my fingernails to try, and I don't want to like chip the paint. So I start off by separating these sections and then kind of untabbing them up here at the fender. And then this will generally happen where he's got this feature where the arms and legs can come off so that you can recreate the scene where Hot Rod fixes him in the movie. But the arms usually come off when I'm doing this part of the transformation, so I generally just like fold that panel over like you're supposed to, and then just untab the arm that way and tab it back in. So it's a bit of unnecessary parts forming, but the hands are just so difficult to untab from those. Like it's hard to get good leverage on them in any other situation. That's kind of what ends up happening when I transform them. But yeah. And then you take these panels here, and they're both on a slider and a double hinge. So you kind of like slide them out just a little bit and then double hinge them down. So they kind of just sit in this channel right here with this little tab and slide. It doesn't really like tab in, but it's just enough to give it a place to sit. And then the toes here flip out from underneath. And then the entire front panel with the wheel on it just folds out. You don't need to fold it out all the way, just a little bit. So you're untabbing it from this tab here, and then you straighten out the leg and tab it back in. So you can just kind of like loosen it and then just straighten the leg and tab it back in. But yeah, then take the arms here and you fold them out to the side on these sections. Take this section here and kind of untab it there and just bring this down like that. Then you fold the whole abdomen over and it'll kind of lock into place there. You can rotate the head around. The head's on this panel. You want to bring that up so that you can bring the wheel sections with the fenders and rotate them in. And then when you bring the panel back down, there's kind of these little channels for the tabs on the black section to sit into. You want to make sure that's locked in. Then you can bring the backpack up and kind of fold it in so that this section tabs into the armature there, and then this folds around, and then that comes on and tabs onto the backpack just like that. And then these panels that the arms are on these rotation joints. So you kind of like rotate them around and click them in like that, and then fold them down and tab them into the side here. Which is not usually, yeah, it's on a double hinge here. So you kind of just have to make sure that that's in the right orientation. And yeah, there we have Kup in his robot mode. And yeah, he's more or less a pretty good looking Kup. The head sculpt is a little bit weird. Like, it's not quite as awkward, I think, as Blur's was, but there's something about the eyes that, like, I think that the lower eyelid is just brought up a little bit too much. So he's got these kind of like weird, worried, sad eyes. It's not terrible. It's definitely one that I think looks better in person, and I've gotten more used to it as I've had this figure. But it's definitely not the crispest, most perfect head sculpt in the world. But yeah, articulation wise, his arms are on shoulder, or his arms are on shoulders. His shoulders are on universal joints here. Just because the way that works, he's got bicep swivels, but also can unpeg. Good deep elbow bend, no wrist or anything. That's just painted. It's all one piece. He's got a waist joint, universal hip joints, and then again the same swivel just from where it's tabbed in. Although the leg connections are a little bit stronger. And then he's got like a few degrees under 90 of knee bend, ankle tilt, and then the toes can really just go down. So not super useful. And then the head is on it's on a ball joint. It's got a pretty good range here. You can kind of getting him cocking his head to the side there. But yeah, pretty good articulation. Here he is with his weapons. You can have him hold his gun. And the big bummer for me here is that there's no real weapon storage for this gun in robot mode. Like, sure, I could have dealt with the lackluster storage in vehicle mode, but there's just kind of no storage at all in alt mode, which sucks. Like, you can do that, but that looks dumb. So, I just kind of put the accessories off to the side, treat him like he doesn't have a gun. But yeah, here he is with his Energon goodies. And yeah, I don't know if this accessory is really worth it, because it looks a little awkward with him holding it like this, just because, like, obviously they're doing the, the normal weapon, peg system with the hands, and like that doesn't really make sense for how you would hold that object. So looks a little weird, but not the end of the world. But again, yeah, I'm not super thrilled by this accessory, but that's fine. I'm content putting it just to the side and in the box. And yeah, I'll show him off again with his movie cast mates. Here he is again with Blur and Wheelie. And here he is with Siege Springer. I really did not feel like transforming that figure to show them off in alternate modes together. But yeah, they look good together. I don't have Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, and I have no plans of getting that figure. It does look really good, but I just can't. I can't handle how it just like demonstrably cheats to get the hood of the car in the chest in robot mode. That is like a total deal breaker for me. It's not it's not a little bit of cheating that I can ignore. That's like part of the whole transformation is just a huge cheat. So that means I'm just gonna wait for another Hot Rod figure. I'm sure they'll do another one eventually. But yeah, they all look pretty good together. And I'll show them off also with the Alicon. There they are together, and yeah, you can have him hold out his little Energon goodies to to feed the Alicon here, and yeah, you can recreate that scene. But yeah, they look good together. But yeah, it's he's a pretty good figure overall. I'd say that the head sculpt is not perfect. The proportions aren't, super amazing. Like he's a little skinny here, and I always imagine Kup being a little bit more rounded out. But it's a pretty good figure overall. Not too terrible. Oh yeah, I guess to show this off, you can rip off all of his limbs. So yep, you can recreate that. It's a neat feature, and it's pretty unobtrusive overall to the figure. So I've got nothing against it. I just don't really see myself like setting up a scene where he's got his limbs all hanging around on my shelf or anything like that. But yeah, he's a pretty good figure. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do BotBots reviews on Tuesdays and Thursdays generally, and then other reviews like this on Sundays. And if you have anything you want me to review, leave it in the comments, and I'll let you know if I have it and want to get to it. But yeah, here we have Transformers Studio Series 86 Kup.